Last night, obviously, England thrashing Albania 5-0. I think my old Ignations team that I played for on a Saturday might have done better against England. I think it was, we didn't really learn much about it. But, as a striker, Harry Kane getting that hat-trick off a lot of criticism lately, he must be happy.
Yeah, and the thing about Harry Kane was not even about his goals for me. For the first second, when the ball went back to the keeper, he pressed down the keeper like he was on one that game. He wanted to get a result for himself, get back on the goals, and his all-round game was perfect. And people say, yeah, it's Albania, but you still got to get it done. Do you know what I mean? You still got to finish the chances. His work rate was top-notch as well, so I'm hoping that, for the sake of you as well as a Spurs fan, he's got his form back. And, you're a goal scorer like Harry Kane, you're always going to score goals. And what he done well in the game was he stayed in between the 6-yard box.
Which is what he needs to do. He needs to do more of, exactly. And he's been criticised that even for Tottenham. Harry Maguire as well, obviously getting on the score sheet. The celebrations as well. He's sliding knees with the ears. He made a big point. He's been criticised heavily for his performances at Manchester United, and then he was criticised again for the celebrations, wasn't he?
Yeah, I've seen the quotes and the video of it from Roy Keane. I think Roy Keane's been a bit of a bully there.
Bully.
I think he's
strong word. Bully.
Yeah, I think he's bullying him because Harry Maguire has been under a lot of pressure. Some not very good performances from Manchester United. The next game available to prove that you're a good centre half. Yes, it's Albania, but still, he had a job to do. He scores. The excitement of scoring, you're going to celebrate. If I was going for a run of bad form when I scored a goal, I'm going to do exact same celebration. Hands on your ears to the critics that, I'm going to try and put in a good performance. And you've done that, Harry Maguire. I thought it was, his defending was very good. And he scored a goal. So every time he does something now, it feels like everyone's against him. He's English. He's the captain of Manchester United. Yes, the pressure of that. But he's probably our best centre-half. Let's get behind him, not always trying to criticise him. So I think for me, he's bullying from Roy Keane, and everyone sort of jumps on the bandwagon whenever Roy Keane says something.
He does lead the charge.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
What I like is that other people have come out, even like Michael Richards and John Terry have come out and defended Maguire, because give a guy a break. He must be coming on social media after games and thinking I can't win. I've scored, I've celebrated. What do people want from me? So I feel like they're human beings. Let's stop being on people and players like Maguire and Harry Kane's back and start supporting them when they're putting good performances.
Well, that's the thing. The mood and the language towards them shifts so quickly from, everyone singing about Harry Maguire in the Euros. He was phenomenal in the Euros, and then criticising him. And then, as you say, as he comes back on a come-up, to bring him down straight away just feels a little unfair.
Can't win. If he keeps a clean sheet his next game, they'll say, it was against a team that their striker's not in great form. You know what I mean? You can't win, can he? So I feel like, let's stop putting English players down. We've done it in the past. Let's start putting English players up, especially when they do well. Speaking
of people that are damned if they do and damned if they don't, I feel Gareth Southgate gets a bit of a raw deal, because we were talking about this last night on the Sports Bar, myself and Darren Ambrose, straight after the game. And, the callers that were getting involved, there was 50% of them were like, Gareth Southgate's the best England manager of all time, is what some people were saying. And then there was others like, he's not good enough, he can't manage, he's not an elite manager, he's not going to take us forward.
Here we go.
And I think, in terms of England managers, where do we rate Gareth Southgate as an England manager? If not, who is the best England manager of all time? Why are Bobby Robson and Terry Venables held in higher esteem to, say, someone like Gareth Southgate when he is done what he's done? Exactly. He's reached the semi-final of a World Cup, and we've reached the final of a European Championship. We hadn't reached a major final in over 50 years.
Exactly.
Gareth Southgate's now done that. How come he's not the guy, in some people's opinion?
Because his name's Gareth Southgate. I feel like everyone's just going to be like, well, you've got the players, you've got the best squad of players we've had in years. You should be doing what you're doing. But he's still making big choices of selections, formations. Yes, he got it wrong against Italy. We didn't have to be so defensive in that game. We should have beat Italy if we played the right formation, more attacking, of course. But I'm sure he'll learn from that in the next tournament. Certain games play more defensive, certain games play more attacking. But for me, he deserves a new contract that's been talked about. He deserves, for me, to be probably the best England paid manager. That's what I'm hearing. And look at his win percentage, 64.2%. It's the highest from Sir Bobby Robson. Terry Venables both had lower than him. So give the guy a break, He's another one, isn't he? He can't win.
Well, this is it. I think Does Gareth Southgate need to be a major team in a major tournament to get that respect? Because if you look back to Euro 96, Terry Venables and the demolition of Holland, I was only about 8 or 9 at the time, and I remember that game so well. We played beautifully. Paul Ince was doing Cruyff turns into the box and winning penalties. It was such a luxurious performance.
I think we did against Germany.
Well, this is the argument.
Tactically, he got it spot on against Germany.
A caller rang up last night and he said it was a joke of a Germany team. And in terms
of course.
but what more? This is what I want to ask you, the listeners. What more does Gareth Southgate have to do to be considered as a great England manager?
Well, Majestic, if you looked at that game, I was there at the game watching, and I could see the tactics were perfect. What was the biggest strength for Germany? It was Werner's pace.
Yeah,
because we've got slow centre halves. So what did you do? Play the 5, put Walker in there. Walker was like a sweeper.
He was unreal that game.
Honestly, Werner and Havertz were running through. Walker come out of nowhere like Speedy Gonzalez. That was perfect tactical play from Gareth Southgate, but he didn't have to do that in the final because they didn't have that rapid pace running through the middle, so he got it wrong in the final. But against Germany is still a great side. Look at the players that they've got: Werner, Havertz, Gundogan. Come on, they're still a good team.
Just because they're underachieving in that tournament doesn't make them a bad team.
I feel like give Southgate a break. I think he's done very well so far.
Would you give him a new contract now?
I would.
Right now?
Yeah. Give him the paper. No, I'd give him a contract. Of course I would. Would you?
Well, I think so. But I think, he's in contract at the moment. Why not go to the World Cup, see what happens, and then do it? I think this is the question. Ask, Manchester United fans right now, after Ollie got the new contract in the summer, they could have waited until now to then have the whole contract discussions. But as we know, in football, ask someone like Nuno, what does a contract mean? Contract doesn't mean anything right now.
What you got to understand as well, like Southgate, how well he's done. Maybe he deserves a pay rise. Don't forget the World Cup's a year away. It's not like it's around the corner. It's still a year. It's a long time. Maybe he deserves the pay rise. Maybe that's the part of the contract that they're looking to reward him with. And like he says, there might be a clause in there saying that if you don't get past the group stage in the World Cup, you're gone anyway.
Who would you say is the greatest England football manager of all time?
It's a hard one for me
your
because
lifetime?
In my lifetime, I'm similar age to you, so I would have been brought up watching Euro 96, Terry Venables, then after that Glenn, you've seen Sven-Goran Eriksson, Fabio Capello, but I think it's hard to judge. I think if you look at the stats, it's got to be Gareth Southgate, hasn't it? Well, in my lifetime.
This is the thing, and a lot of the people we were talking to last night was calling up who were in their early 20s, and I was like, if you think about it, 2018 World Cup, we went in there with no expectations. All of a sudden, we beat Colombia on penalties. That's a big thing as well for England to go in a major tournament and win a penalty shootout, get rid of that hoodoo. And then we're in a semi-final. Okay, it was disappointing, but the way that he's galvanised the country by getting to these big moments, I think, and it's come in such a quick succession, 18 and 20, and then obviously we move it to Qatar next year so quickly.
Look at what the summer was like. What about the best experiences this summer for a long time? Honestly, the atmosphere in England was unbelievable. Going to the games at Wembley, the atmosphere in that ground, honestly, was one of the best things I've done watching England in that ground. He brought that, brought that energy to England. He's English. I think it's a major, major thing that the England manager has to be English. He wants to win as much as we do. He wanted to come home as much as we do.
And he knows the pain more than anyone because of Euro 96.
Exactly.
I likened it last night on the sports bar to Gareth Southgate is like boiled chicken and basmati rice with no flavour. There's no flavour there. It's not. There's no pizzazz. But if you ate that every day, you'd be in good shape.
Exactly. No, 100%.
And I think sometimes we love the drama of the bad boy, or like a Jose Mourinho type figure, someone that's going to say something in the press. In terms of an international manager dealing with the FA, Gareth Southgate, there can't be anyone really better. No. If there is somebody better, this is why I want to speak to the callers, 03717 223344. If there is someone more suited for the England job than Gareth Southgate right now, who would that be? Because I can't think of anyone else. Someone said yesterday Wayne Rooney.
It's boring, isn't it? It's boring. That's just... Come on.